Live life better.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Box REI. I am Doug Bair.
And I'm Pete Cerruti.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about FHA 203k loans. If you watched the last video, I briefly mentioned it, told you we would do a video about it. So here it is. So brief overview of what FHA 203k is a owner-occupied loan. It's an FHA loan, a construction loan. So you can put 3.5% down payment, move into it. You could do from a 1 to a 4 unit. And Pete, you want to go into detail of kind of how it works and why it might be beneficial for somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the 203k program. I think it helps singles. It helps young couples. It can really work for anyone. Gives you some advantages. All right. The FHA program itself is great because it's just 3.5% down. I mean, how do you beat 3.5% down? But to get that 3.5% down on the multifamily, that's really something. I'll tell you, like we mentioned in the last video, normally a 25% requirement is what you're going to be bringing to the table. So on a $400,000 house, you're looking at $100,000.
Yep.
That's difficult. It's a tough pill to swallow. So
Yep.
when you can get in there instead for 14, that's beautiful, plus closing costs.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at with the 203k program is it's going to help you do a fix up, all right, without having to come up with the cash yourself. So not only does it help you with the down payment, but the 203k program also gives you all the money you need to rehab the property.
Yep.
So that's a big deal.
Yep.
So a young person that's moving into a house, I'm telling my kids, do this. When you buy your first house, set yourself up for success in the future. You can get in there, look for a property that needs work, all right, so that you can build some equity into it. And if it's a multifamily, you can also give yourself some income. So what you do is you have to look first whether you're going to be doing a streamlined FHA 203k or a full blown. And the difference is really just the budget. Yep. So if it's under $35,000 to do the rehab, you can go with a streamline. And this is, general rules of thumb. And if it's over, you're going to need to go with the full blown program. When you go with the full blown program, you need a consultant. All right. And that HUD consultant is somebody that goes in the property with you and helps you determine what needs to be done for FHA to be okay with this, because that's really the key. FHA is going to require certain things be done for the property to be, good enough for their appraiser to pass. All right. So they'll go through with you and they'll do what we call an evaluation to come up with your must do's, because there's 3 levels here with the money that you can get. You can do your musts. They have to get done in order for FHA to pass it at the end. And you can do some likes, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that, or you can come up with a wish list. All right. My advice is do the musts and try and stay away from as much of the other stuff as you can, because you're borrowing the money and putting it into your mortgage. So the more you do, the more you're going to have as a mortgage payment. So I'd stick with the must do's and do the rest of it over time as you're living there.
Yeah, I mean, so it's helpful with the construction budget, with helping give you the money up front, but you are, just keep in mind, you are paying interest on that because it's built into the loan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing that I like to make sure people understand is that when they are picking a contractor, that contractor is going to have to do the work. The contractor that they pick has to be licensed and has to be approved through FHA in order to be allowed to do the work. So it's not something that you can say, well, I'm handy, I can do some work, I'm a contractor myself. You can't do the work yourself. And that's something that, that discourages some people, but I say, listen, it's still a great deal. You're getting the money to pay this contractor. So do it, make sure it's a good contractor, because that's going to make or break your project. Interview a few contractors. We can help, certainly, if you're working with us, find some people that would do a good job for you. But once you get them in there, they'll get a draw from FHA. An inspector will come out and they'll make sure the work's been done. Once it's done and they pass, they give you the next draw for the money for the next phase. So
Yep.
The bottom line is you end up at the end of the process, which has to be done within 6 months. That's their time frame. You get the project done in 6 months. If there's any money left over, it goes against your principal balance. All right. So, but your loan stays where it is, and you have a fully, occupied property at the end. and you're a landlord, but now you're a landlord making money and with a property that has a lot more value than when you bought it.
Yep.
So, do you have any thoughts there you want to throw in?
No, I mean, I guess just stressing when you said have a list of do the must do's, but maybe do as little as possible, just do all the must do's, because again, since you have to choose that contractor approved by FHA, and if you are handy and can do a lot of the would like to do or wish list stuff that you mentioned, then make sure you're not using that money to do those items by paying another contractor. Save a lot of money, do it yourself down the road, because it is an owner occupied loan, so you're obviously going to be living there, so just kind of fix it up as you're living there over time, and then I guess that's what I wanted to stress in there too.
So I mean, to me, you're setting yourself up for success, and the reason is you can buy a property. Let's say it's a 3-unit property, all right, and you buy it, you live in one of the units, you rent out the other 2. In 1 to 2 years, you say, I'd like to do this again. This was successful. This is working. I'd like to do it again. Right. Since you were able to build equity into the property, you'd be able to refinance it and say put a conventional loan on it and have enough equity in there that you don't have to come up with money out of pocket to get that loan to value. Because when you refinance, they will only give you up to 75% of the value that they determine.
Yep.
So you have to make sure you build that equity in so that doesn't come out of your pocket, but it's just there already.
Yep.
And once you refinance and you're out of that first FHA loan, you could do it again. You can go find another multifamily or even single family, do the 203k again, live in it, and you're going to start building some equity. You're going to start building some real equity, because think about it: if you buy a property for $250,000, and at the end of it, the property's worth $400, even with the 25%, piece that comes out with the conventional refinance, that equity is there. You can realize it by selling it, but it's there for the future. So 10, 20 years from now, if you're doing this as a young couple, you're going to have a lot of equity building, especially if you do it more than once.
Yep. Yeah, it's important to just make sure you're watching both the interest rates and then the appreciation of your value of your property as time goes, because you can only have one FHA loan out there at a time. So you have to refinance it off of it before you can use it again. So definitely keep that in mind if you're going this route. Anything else you wanted to add?
Well, I think, there's always more to add, but the bottom line is if you want to start investing in real estate, it's really very personal. Your goals are your goals. And what I like to do, Doug and I will sit down, talk with you, ask some questions, try and get to the heart of the matter, figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. There's a lot of different paths to the same goal. So we can help you figure out your path.
Yep. Yeah. We work with investors of all experience levels and ages. So people just starting out, people that have been doing it for a long time, so if you're interested at all in investing in real estate, definitely reach out to us. We're happy to help you. It's both of our passions. We love, helping people build wealth through real estate. So, again, we are Out of the Box REI. I am Doug Bair.
Yep. I'm Pete Cerruti, and live life better.